Well, Coach, you guys decided to suspend workouts before the UIL issued its new guidance. What led to the decision to join almost the entire rest of McLennan County and suspend workouts through the 12th?
We saw the COVID numbers rising, and I got on the phone with a couple of buddies of mine around, and my superintendent, and talked to a couple of coaches on staff, and we just felt it was the right thing to do with the situation the way it was going, and we had dodged a couple of bullets with some indirect contact with some kids through this person and that person, and so we just decided that it was a good time to shut it down for a little bit, take some time to clean the weight room and our facilities and our equipment really, really well. And, hopefully let this thing slow down a little bit.
Why was July 13th the date that seems to be the target date for the entire state of Texas at this point?
I think some of it dealt with we had a couple of dead days coming up this next week for girls coaching school, and I think that was just kind of the first full week back where everybody could get together and get a 5-day workout in, and so and then the next week I think there's a couple of dead days with boys coaching school, and so I think with that being a full week, I think that hands itself to being the target date for everybody to kind of come back, and it's roughly almost a couple of weeks after the 4th of July weekend. And so, I think, those things coupled together kind of lend itself to be just a good time to get back to work.
Okay. You guys didn't have a planned break this coming week, did you? This is all because of coronavirus.
No, we actually didn't. We planned on working out 4 days last week or this past week. And then we planned on coming back in next Thursday and Friday. And getting a couple of days in, after those dead days. And so, with the time we lost in the spring and the way our kids were working in the winter, it was we really wanted to get our kids back to work. We felt it was important that they get back to preparing for their season, but we also felt it was important for them to get back to being around each other and to being around us and to creating that team camaraderie, so to speak. And so, we actually we're going to use those days at the end of next week to be able to kind of test our kids and see where they were as we got moving forward into this last 3 or 4 weeks before football starts.
You mentioned football. Everything that's going on now with cases going the direction they are. You've got all these county judges yesterday warning that we're going to see even more record numbers today. Is there just your kind of gut reaction? Is there doubt creeping in about football season at this point?
I think everybody has doubt about everything that's going to happen in the fall, whether it be football season, whether it just be how school goes. And so, I think everybody's cautiously optimistic that we're going to get to, play football some sort of season somehow. But we also understand that. I don't know how much control we have over the decisions that are made above us with what's going on. And so, our kids are working like we're playing. We're treating everything like we're going to get started on August 3rd. And we're going to do that until somebody tells us otherwise.
Is this a good thing that you and everybody in McLennan County and more than half the schools easily across the state have suspended to try and help this thing slow down? Is there reason for concern because everybody has had to suspend to try to slow this virus down, or is there kind of like a cross of the two?
Yeah, I think it's a little of both. I think it's important that we did, because I think hopefully it'll show the kids how important it is to be wary of this thing. And so with all the guidelines that the UL put on us, it was extremely, extremely tough to keep kids separated from each other. And, they didn't want to be 6 feet apart, and they didn't want to be 10 feet apart. And it felt like you were more of a cleaner and a separator than you were a coach during these 3 weeks that we had. And so, I think this shutdown kind of helps show the kids that it is important that we make sure that we do what we're supposed to do, and we follow the guidelines that have been set forth for us. And, I'm sure it shows some concern too, that many people have, shut down to be able to hopefully, curtail this spread of this virus.
Okay. What is the biggest thing that you hope your kids take away from the efforts that you, your superintendent, and everybody in West have been taking to try to curb the spread of this virus, whether that be through suspending workouts, through the measures you guys are taking at the UIL's recommendations, or anything academic related at this point?
I hope they understand that the situation we're in right now is real, and it's important that they do whatever they can do to follow those guidelines, whether it's at their job, whether it's at their house, whether it's getting together with friends on a weekend, whatever it is. I hope that they understand that, and two, I hope they understand that there's a lot of people, uh, in a lot of positions working hard for them to be able to have as close to normal of a school year as they can have, whether it be in terms of classes, whether it be in terms of athletics and band, and then the other clubs and extracurriculars that everybody does. And so, it's a lot going on, and there's a lot of people that have to make a lot of tough decisions in terms of us moving forward through athletics, band, extracurriculars, and even just into the quote unquote normal school year.
Okay. Does it seem, I know you mentioned you talked to a few other head coaches in the area. Does it seem like everybody in the county is thinking this same way, just trying to do what we can to not only keep everybody safe, but the coach in mind, preserve any shot of a fall activity season?
It is, and I think the three or four guys I talked to that's what they want. I mean, first and foremost, it's the safety of our kids and their families and their health, and so and then after that, if things keep going the way they are, it's going to be tough for us to have as normal of a fall as we want to have, and so I hope they understand that we're concerned for their safety, and we wanted to give them a little bit of break. But two, we really, really, really want to make sure that that their experience from August to June is the best that it can be. And so we're working hard to make sure that we follow all those guidelines and dot every I and cross every T, and make sure that we do what we do as adults to make sure that our kids can have a great school year.
Okay. Is there anything that you would add, anything you think we're missing, or anything you want to touch on as far as this goes with from your perspective?
I don't think so. I think the biggest thing is it's gonna take a lot of us in terms of not just here in West and West ISD, but in McLennan County and around the state, to be able to make sure that we get to do that we get to have a normal school year, whatever normal is going to look like, and hopefully as we get moving closer in that between TEA and the UIL and our local ISDs, they'll come up with a good plan, and we'll be able to follow it, and kids will be able to do what they want to do.